So Five Nights at Freddy's The Silver Eyes has finally been released.
But there's something important we must know about the book and the impact it really has towards the FNAF games and the lore.
So, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is other Ryan here.
And welcome back to another video discussing the Five Nights at Freddy's newest novel that has actually been released. Recently, there's been a lot of confusion in regards to this novel and the impact and also the theories and laws that have been coming out and really how relatable they are to the actual game's lore.
We'll jump right into a Steam post right now from a guy called Cheesecake who basically questioned Scott on the story of the book and if it's going to carry on with the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's or if it's going to be an alternate universe in which it doesn't really matter. And he was basically saying, you know, what's the point in making the story based on the same characters if you're not going to carry on the same story? And Scott basically replied saying it's just an alternate universe.
Yeah, so this has been a big thing which has actually appeared in regards to the novel since it's actually been released. I think a lot of people have actually begun to read this novel, and some people actually had early access as well and have gave their reviews on it, and quite a few have actually said that towards the ending it gets very confusing. By the way, guys, this video is absolutely spoiler free, so do not be concerned with actually having anything revealed.
Yeah.
But the book is apparently a little bit confusing, and it can be a little inconsistent towards the game, because I think that's what a lot of people are, of course, relating this book to, considering we've had these 4 Five Nights at Freddy's games, and now we've got a Five Nights at Freddy's book undergoing still the Five Nights at Freddy's name. So it's easy to kind of relate one to the other without actually knowing. But as Ryan's actually said as well, Scott has said that this game is not actually true to the video game's lore that we actually know so far.
Yeah, I've read a little bit of this book so far. I only just bought this yesterday. I think it was only released yesterday to the actual public. Yeah, I've read a little bit about it. No spoilers, obviously, but it's told from like a third-person perspective, and it's not really the story that you'd expect, like the crying child or anything like that. It's completely different, basically, and Scott's just gone a completely different route with it, and all he was saying is basically, you know, he wanted to expand the mystery, I guess, of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but he didn't actually want to go into the whole lore side of it. It's very strange how he's actually approached this.
Like he said in his reply as well, he's speaking about the actual lore from the canon games that we've seen so far. He's saying how it can become so dense that there isn't really much room for a story, and that is of course because we've spent so long debating about this, and I think this also dates back to the whole some things are best left forgotten forever. You know, he doesn't really want to reveal maybe a book with the definite answers because, you know, it's a case of will people accept it? Will they want it to be this way? And, you know, what he's trying to get at, guys, is that the book is still based on Five Nights at Freddy's. So like the guy said, how is this, or why is this titled a FNAF book if it's not about the story? But it's just in a separate universe, which basically means that FNAF does still exist, but the story we actually know has been altered and it is now its own independent story.
Therefore, guys, we can't take what we see in the book as canon. It was only released yesterday, I believe, from Scott, which he said, you know, the book is not canon. I don't think, when I was listening to Lewis explain the plot, which I won't spoil, I was thinking, okay, it kind of makes sense, but there's little details that only a book will be able to explain, so I guess this does make sense. But then when he said it's not lore, it's like, okay, well, what is this then?
Yeah, it turns into a different thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely.
And it's interesting, though, why he's done this, because, you know, guys, we have to think really importantly about this. All of the theorizing we've done so far is not being disproven within this book. Yes, we're seeing familiar faces, hearing familiar names and familiar terms towards maybe the characters in this book, but they have absolutely nothing potentially to do with the characters in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 to 4 games, and it does not alter the lore in any fashion at all. So I think the only thing we can really say towards reading this book is when you go into it from page 1, honestly, erase your mind, or at least put it to one side and come into this book with a fresh mindset, ready to kind of delve into a totally different lore area of the Five Nights at Freddy's universe is.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think the point in this video right now, guys, is basically saying that the Five Nights at Freddy's lore is literally buried now. That's it. That's the end of that. From the game's perspective anyway. I mean, this is a completely different side of Five Nights at Freddy's story, universe, or whatever you want to call it. And it's hard to know where he's going to go with it, if the film's going to spiral from this book or from the game, but it'll be interesting to know how he does go about it.
Absolutely, yeah. So again, guys, this novel, when you're actually reading it, will feature unique plot twists and maybe also things that you can relate directly to the story, but do not consider this to be anything from the original Five Nights at Freddy's games and have an impact in terms of that story, because, you know, an alternate universe, if one person walks to the left, another walks to the right. It's a totally different thing, and each one has its independent action, so we can't relate both together.
Yeah, definitely. And who's to say that maybe in this alternate universe that maybe the lore will expand from the book to the film, and it'll be a completely different story altogether, like giving us more room to kind of look at it with a fresh pair of eyes.
Absolutely. I mean, there's one more thing as well we can of course discuss, and that is the future of FNAF, because the first thing I want to actually pick up on is the fact that we've had this Halloween update, and that appeared to be non-canon. Now, another thing we've got coming is this book, or at least that's already out, and that is also non-canon. Now we have a third game, FNAF World, which is also non-canon. So it kind of feels like the game's canon side is definitely finished with, it's finalized. He's definitely leaving it to set in stone now. And I think there may be a potential for more novels talking about this, and maybe they'll also be non-canon relating to this universe. But again, it leaves you questioning, like, is he going to continue with this universe, or, you know, expand again to a totally different one if there is going to be another book after this one?
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see.
So there we have it, guys. That was, of course, talking about the Five Nights at Freddy's The Silver Eyes novel. Hopefully, of course, you did enjoy this discussion, and actually comment down below any of your thoughts in relation to what we've said in this video, because we think this would be interesting for you guys too.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below, and if you're new to our channel, why not subscribe for more interesting videos like this, and also some gameplay videos as well.
So thank you so much for watching the video, guys. We of course hope you did enjoy, and we'll of course see you on the next one.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?